Many One Piece TCG players ask the question, is it worth it to buy the ST10 Ultimate deck, the 3 captains? ST10 is the 10th structure deck coming to One Piece TCG, with a premium price tag and 3 new and exciting leaders with all new color combinations, red and purple. Coming out on November 11th, many people wonder if it's worth the $29.99 MSRP price. This video is broken down into 3 main points: value, card playability, meta impact and potential. Let's see what this ST is about.
Shambles.
What's actually included in the box? Get 1 deck box, 1 card divider, 3 different leaders, 10 Don, and 50 deck cards, consisting of characters and events. And guess what? They're all in foil. With that, there comes a big drawback though: foil bending. A lot of users who bought the deck in Asia, including me who got it shipped, reported the card springling and having a big curve. This hasn't happened to me with the other foils I've bought from overseas, and I hope Bandai fixes the issue with its English release. Another issue I have is the deck box itself. While looking cool, it does really suck at being a deck box. There's no support on either side, so your cards could get easily squished in your bag while traveling. I personally would not recommend carrying any expensive or unsleeved cards in this deck box, as it may cause your cards to get screwed up. As any One Piece TCG structure deck, this deck has unique cards that aren't gonna be printed anywhere else. So, do they hold value? We'll talk about it in the next part of the video, but something exciting happening for the first time in One Piece history is the reprints. Including in this deck are 4 copies of Rush Zoro, OP01, and 4 Nami from OP01, with all new textured foiling and art. A great addition. I just hope we get more of these expensive staples printed again. Now let's get into the card list of the deck. Let's start from the top and work our way to the bottom, starting with Trafalgar Law, a 4 life/attribute leader with 5000 power in red and purple colors. He has the Heart Pirates type, and he says, active main once per turn, Don -3. Place up to 1 of your opponent's character cards with 3000 power or less at the bottom of the owner's deck, and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. Monkey D. Luffy, a 3 life attribute strike leader with 6000 power, red and purple colors, Straw Hat Crew. Active main, once per turn. If you have 0 Dawn cards on your field or 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, add up to 1 of your Dawn cards from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Next up we have Eustace Captain Kidd, a 5 life special attribute, 5000 power red and purple leader with a Kid Pirates type. With the effect, your turn, if you have 4 or more life cards, give this leader -1000 power. When attacking, Don -1, this leader gains plus 2000 power during this turn. Now, let's get onto the characters. Nami, 1 cost, special, 2000 power, 1000 counter, color red. Straw Hat Crew type. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reel up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card other than Nami and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Roronoa Zoro, cost 3, attribute / power 5000, color red. Type Supernovas/Straw Hat Crew. Effect, Rush. This card can attack on the turn in which it's played. Sanji, cost 6, attribute strike, power 6000, counter 1000, color red. Straw Hat Crew. On play, if your opponent has a character with 5000 or more power, this character gains rush during this turn. Jinbe, 2 cost, strike attribute, power 2000, counter 2000, color red. Type Fishman/Straw Hat Crew. Effect, Don X1, when attacking, Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2000 power during this turn. Monkey D. Luffy, cost 10, attribute strike, power 11,000, counter 0, color red, type Straw Hat Crew. Effect, rush. Once per turn, when an opponent activates a blocker, K up to one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 power or less. Killer, 5 cost, attribute slash, power 6,000, counter 1,000, color purple, type Kid Pirates. Effect, your turn once per turn. When a Dawn card on your field is returned to your Dawn deck, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 3 or less. Shachi and Penguin, cost 4, attribute ranged, power 5,000, counter 2,000, color purple, type Heart Pirates. Effect, on play, if you have 3 or less Dawn cards on your field, add up to 2 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck and rest them. Jean Bart, cost 4, attribute strike, power 5,000, counter 1,000, color purple, type Heart Pirates. Effect, on play, rest 1 Dawn, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Fulgur Law, cost 4, attribute slash, power 5,000, counter 1,000, color purple, type Heart Pirates. Blocker, on play, Dawn -1. If your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, trash 2 cards from your opponent's hand. Heat, cost 3, attribute special, power 4,000, counter 1,000, purple, Kid Pirates. Your turn, once per turn. When a Dawn card on your field is returned to the Dawn deck, this character gains plus 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. Beppo, cost 4, attribute strike, power 5,000, counter 1,000, color purple, type Minx/Heart Pirates. On play / when attacking. If your opponent has more Dawn cards on their field than you, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. Eustace Captain Kidd, cost 7, attribute special, power 8,000, counter 0, color purple, type Kid Pirates. On play / when attacking, Dawn -1. Up to one of your leaders gains plus 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. Wire, cost 3, attribute slash, power 3,000, counter 1,000, color purple, type Kid Pirates. Blocker, once per turn, when a Dawn card on your field is returned to your Dawn deck, draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand. Gum Gum Giant Sumo Slap. Event, cost 1, color red, type Straw Hat Crew. Effect, counter. Up to one of your leaders or characters gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. And KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 power or less. Gum Gum Kong Gatling. Event, cost 5, color red, type Straw Hat Crew. Main, Key up to one of your opponent's characters with 7,000 power or less. Trigger. Up to one of your leaders gains plus 1,000 power until the end of your turn. Punk Vice Event. Cost 3, color purple, type Kid Pirates. Main. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, and add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. Trigger. Add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Hi, didn't see you there. As you can probably see, I'm a pretty big One Piece fan, and every time I go to my locals, I bring a playmat, just like this. Although, some playmats are really bad quality, or they don't have interesting designs. I play One Piece, you can see here. Most of the time, these official playmats don't look as good. They're half black, don't have anything special with them, so I decided to do something about it. I created a website where I make and sell my playmat designs for One Piece. As you can see here, we use high quality materials and really good quality designs. We have a lot of different designs. You like the Saba one? Get it here. Also, if you like something like Nami, have that here as well. We have Luffy, Zoro, all of them. Everything you can imagine, 40 plus playmats and designs you can get at this shop right here. Before I forget, some additional information. SD10 themed playmats are out. These came out super dope and I especially enjoy how Law came out. An additional bonus for you guys is a 10% discount code that's gonna be up until the 11th of November. It's SD1010. Again, use the code SD1010 at roninstavern.shop to claim your 10% off of any order on the site. Also, we just made a Twitter page, and we're doing a giveaway for a free playmat of your choice. Rules about the giveaway are in the tweet, link in the description. Thanks for listening to this ad. Supporting me and my shop makes it easier to make videos that are higher quality in the future. Ad finished. Now, is the ST playable out of the box? For fun games against other STs, for sure. There are some killer strong cards here, but against actual decks, there's way too many dead cards that practically don't do anything. How many of these do I need? If you're planning to have a full playset of every card, you're going to have to get 2 for $60 MSRP. As you've seen, you only get 2 copies of each of the SRs the deck has to offer and 2 of each event cards. How good are these leaders? Law is a really solid leader with a very strong ability that can remove your opponent's threats while giving you a ton of early advantage. Unfortunately, the cost of -3 Dawn is really steep, and with the only card pool of OPO4 and ST10, the leader is not too playable, a solid B tier leader. Luffy has a different problem, where the cards in his kit are there, in Asia with him topping multiple times, but with our 04 limited list, those lists fall out of favor to just playing a leader like Whitebeard who does an overall better job. This outright isn't a huge issue, but it just means that people making deck lists will have to find a different unique way to play him and master his kit, so he has his abilities a little bit too specific. A solid B+ leader. Lastly, we have Kid, who's just a really weird leader. Had a lot of potential to be somewhat okay, being a 5-life dual color leader who can attack, but he's just super hard to build. Currently holding 0 tops in Asia, even after OPO5 and the massive wave of purple support it brought. I hate to say it, but I think this self-sabotaging leader is just bad. He's a wobbly C tier leader with low potential. How good are the deck cards? I'm gonna be straight up honest, and most of them suck. Let's start from the bottom. All of the event cards aren't playable cards. Punk Vice could seem somewhat cool, but just isn't reliable enough to see any sort of play. Sanji, Killer, Jean Bart are all terrible cards that are gonna have a hard time fitting into many decks. Beppo, Shachi, and Penguin are both not playable cards in any other purple decks besides Red-Purple Law, in which they're a must. They're specifically designed to fit with that leader in mind. Wire and Heat hold some potential in Magellan, both having a counter and having really decent effects, but both aren't going to be played in most purple decks come OP05, and I don't really see players running these cards. Jinbei and Monkey D. Luffy are somewhat decent cards, can be tech slots in Zoro or aggressive red decks. Jinbei being a 2k counter with a reduction on attack ability, and Luffy being a finisher for red that we all wanted. Nami, Zoro, Kid, and Law are all extremely playable cards and hold a lot of value in the future meta. Nami being a staple for red-green Law, Zoro being played extensively in both Law decks and in Zoro, and Law and Kid being played in virtually every purple deck that can fit them in their deck lists. With ST10 releasing, there's gonna be potential meta shift. Magellan will get a few more cards to play with, and I guarantee you there's gonna be a lot of people trying to top with these decks. Unfortunately, I don't think any of these leaders hold a lot of ground in OP04, with a Western restricted list. Law is lacking a lot of support from OP05, and Luffy just feels like a worse Whitebeard with our restrictions. Coming OP05, I can guarantee you that Law will be one of the top decks, having a lot of answers for the older meta and getting a lot of good cards like Zoro Juo and Kid Blocker. Red Purple Luffy will probably take a backseat to the new Purple Luffy leader from OP05 that's sweeping the Japanese meta currently. If our restrictive list gets lifted, he might become more playable than before. And for Poor Kid, I don't think there's going to be any competitive play done soon. Here's the list for OP04 Law if you want to try it out when the deck drops. It's a high roll deck and tough to make good decisions with, so just be careful. As for the rest of these leaders, I don't have a general idea on how to build them successfully. Hopefully someone does crack the code post-release, but I am personally stumped. Should you buy this product? In my opinion, if you're going to be playing the following colors and or deck, this product is a must. Mono Purple, Red Purple Trafalgar Law. If you're just a red player, I wouldn't recommend getting this deck. You can get singles of these cards for way cheaper from people buying multiple STs. I give this deck a solid B+. It could have been a bit better, but for what it's worth, it's not entirely a bad deal. And that should be it. Thank you so much for watching and sticking until the end of the video. What video should I do next? Leave in the comments below. See you next time. Singing now, well up until 9, I'm finally convincing myself to run from this hell. Following the wind, I move quietly, walking on this path of what will only west, and then I found, and now I'm surrounded. Remind myself to say, life abounds.